In a crash, you have less time than a blink. A car airbag must sense the danger, ignite a charge, and fill a cushion before your head moves a single foot forward. It all happens in about 50 milliseconds. Faster than you can flinch, faster than you can be afraid. Let us slow it right down, slice the steering wheel open, and watch the whole quiet chain unfold, one careful step at a time. When a car stops suddenly, your body does not. You keep moving at the car's old speed until something stops you too. Without help, that something is the steering wheel, the dashboard, or the glass. The airbag's job is to become that something first. A soft, wide wall of gas that meets your face and chest and spreads the force out across a fraction of a second, instead of one single, brutal instant against something hard. Tucked near the center of the car sits a tiny sensor called an accelerometer. Inside it, a microscopic mass hangs on springs etched into a chip of silicon thinner than a hair. In normal driving, it barely shifts, but in a crash, the sudden slowing throws that little mass hard against its springs. The sensor measures exactly how violently the car is decelerating and turns that motion into a small electric signal many times every single millisecond. That signal races to a small computer called the control unit. Its hardest job is to tell a real crash from a pothole, a curb, or a slammed brake. It watches the shape of the slowdown. How hard, how long, how fast it climbs. Only when the pattern crosses a clear, tested threshold does it commit to one word: deploy. In that moment, it sends a jolt of current down a thin wire toward the heart of the airbag. At the end of that wire sits the igniter, a small initiator wrapped in a pinch of heat-sensitive compound. The current heats a thin filament, much like the wire inside a toaster, until it glows and lights the charge. There is no open flame waiting in your steering wheel. Nothing is burning until this exact instant. The igniter is the bridge, the moment a quiet electric signal becomes the rapid, fiery chemistry about to fill the bag. Behind the igniter waits the propellant, often pressed pellets of a compound called sodium azide. In storage, it is stable and solid, a small stack of disks no larger than coins. But it holds a secret. Locked inside its crystals is a great deal of nitrogen, the very same gas that makes up most of the air you are breathing right now. The igniter's heat is the key that unlocks all of it at once. When the heat arrives, the sodium azide breaks apart in a fast chemical reaction. Each tiny pellet decomposes, releasing a burst of nitrogen gas and leaving behind hot metallic sodium. In a few thousandths of a second, a small handful of solid disks becomes enough gas to fill a beach ball, and then more. This is the true engine of the airbag, not an explosion of fire, but a controlled, blisteringly fast release of clean gas. That raw gas is hot, and the leftover metallic sodium is dangerous on its own, so the module hides extra chemicals that react with the sodium, turning it into harmless, stable salts. The growing gas then rushes through a fine metal screen and filter. The screen traps hot particles and pulls heat from the stream, so what finally floods the bag is mostly clean, warm nitrogen instead of a spray of scorching, gritty debris. The gas pours into a tightly folded nylon bag, packed like a parachute behind the steering wheel cover. As the pressure builds, the bag punches through a seam designed to split open. That is the faint line you can sometimes see molded into the plastic. The folded fabric snaps outward and inflates toward you, growing from a flat, hidden packet into a full cushion in roughly 20 to 30 thousandths of a second. Now the timing is everything. The bag must be full just as your body arrives, not a moment before. It reaches you already inflated, and your head and chest press into it. But a hard, sealed balloon would simply bounce you back. So the back of the bag carries vent holes. The instant you hit it, gas begins escaping through these openings, and the cushion gives way beneath you, gently, like sinking into deep, fresh snow. This is the part most people miss. The airbag is already deflating while it catches you. As gas leaks steadily from the vents, the bag softens and shrinks, absorbing your motion and slowing you over many inches instead of one hard point. A second after it all began, the bag hangs limp again. The cabin fills with a fine powder, often just the cornstarch or talc that kept the folded fabric from sticking together. Step back and watch the clock. The crash begins. Within about 15 to 20 milliseconds, the sensor and computer have already decided. By 30, the igniter has fired and the gas is generating. By 50, the bag is full and quietly venting. The entire sequence finishes before you have consciously felt the impact. Your eyes have not even started to close. The whole rescue is over in less time than it takes you to blink. So here is the whole slice, end to end. The car decelerates and the accelerometer feels it. The control unit reads the pattern and decides to deploy. Current fires the igniter lights the sodium azide, the reaction floods out nitrogen gas. A filter cools and cleans it, the bag bursts through its cover, inflates to meet you, then vents and deflates to catch you softly. Sense, decide, ignite, generate, filter, inflate, deflate. A soft cushion of breathable gas conjured from a stack of solid pellets in the space of a single blink. It sits folded inches from your hands, silent for years, ready to act in milliseconds it will hopefully never need to use. Next time you settle in behind the wheel, you will know the quiet machine waiting there and exactly how each step of it works. Thanks for watching The Cutaway.